Hello and welcome to the Yeti Den. We have a great podcast for you today. We are talking about the fact that Xbox is sailing directly onto PS5 and Switch. But before we talk about that, I also want to mention that Elden Ring DLC has been announced. I don't know if you checked that out. I actually didn't watch it, so if you did watch it, I'll lean on you because...
No,
okay.
I didn't.
I want to beat the game. I want to beat it before I watch DLC trailers. It's like, I just have this weird... Are you this way with spoilers? Like, I'm so against seeing stuff. Even if I know I'm going to forget it, or even if I know it's going to be years till playing, I'll just go on media blackouts if I have an intention on consuming something. Unless it's like, I don't even know about it. Like, if I don't even know about it, I'm usually a pretty good sport. Like, I just saw the trailer for Dune 2.
Right.
And I didn't know that I was going to see the trailer for Dune 2. And I was like, oh, this is sick.
Yes.
And I'm super hyped for that. But I wouldn't watch the trailer for Dune 2 without being in the theaters and it just playing. Like, I'm not going to seek out spoilers because sometimes trailers show too much. So yeah, we'll mention what we can about it without giving away spoilers and with our limited knowledge on the contents of the trailer.
For sure.
There was also a Nintendo Switch Direct today. Did you watch that?
Dude, I need to watch the Nintendo Switch Direct. There's that too. Gosh, I'm so behind right now. What am I doing?
That's okay. I'm gonna break down like the key takeaways from that because I watched it. It's 25 minutes. It's not something that's gonna blow your mind. But there are a few games that, and especially one that I think everyone needs to play, especially if you're a fan of the channel, which means you probably like RPGs and tactics.
Yes.
So we are going to definitely touch on that. But first, JumbyJumbwa is here, aka Matt Gorgas. The signature oyo theme, which we mentioned. If you're wondering where all our lore comes from, it's having known each other since 2011.
Yeah.
So we are old men who have known each other since back in college, playing music. Matt was the star in many a music video of mine, and Matt is the one who introduced me to Blizzard's Diablo 3 and Fire Emblem as a franchise. So that's why we have a great rapport, is because I kind of find things that Matt maybe hasn't checked out, and Matt is always finding things that I haven't checked out. So
we also have always enjoyed friendly competition in Smash Bros as well. So
that's right, on the Wii U, right?
And Mario Kart.
I was a big advocate of the Wii U.
Yeah. Those were good times.
I was probably the only person I knew that had a Wii U.
Yeah.
It's such a good system. I wish the rest of the world felt the same way.
Yeah. When Spencer moved out of the dorms,
I remember
you would pick me up just to play Smash Bros or Mario Kart or any Wii U game. It was a good time.
We would get tacos. Yeah, we would get tacos and come back. Do you remember playing Nintendo Land?
Nintendo Land?
That was the one where you do like Mario Tag, and then there was a Luigi's Mansion like mini game. Did you ever play that with us?
Dude, I wasn't invited to that hangout. Where was I?
I don't know. Maybe it was a secret Nintendo Land hangout. Maybe you had to have a special pass to get that Wii U content.
Maybe it was like all the girls that you would hang out with, Spencer. You had a girl party.
maybe Jumpy would have brought too much Riz to the party, as the children say.
Probably that's it. Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, so before we dive into all that news, we're gonna just mention. I thought this would be a cool way to test out format. So we're gonna mention what we've been playing this week, but then we're gonna like go dive deeper into that after we talk about the main headlines.
Okay.
So in case someone just wants to hear the news, they can get their news, and then if they're as interested in games as we are and playing them week to week, we'll tell you whatever random stuff we've been playing, because sometimes it is random. So we'll put that towards the end.
Okay.
Because I know that's my favorite part of any podcast. So I was like, maybe we should put that towards the back for those who just want the news. And then for those who love it like I do, it keeps them like in the vibe, like, ooh. And then I know at the very end, they're going to talk about some actual games that they're playing.
Yes. That's what it's about.
So I've been playing Unicorn Overload, super sick RPG. So we'll talk a lot about that. Fallout 4 DLC Nuka World, which is so intense. It is as many hours as the entire game of the Outer Worlds.
Are you serious?
I feel like I've been playing it for 20 hours.
What?
I'm sure I have. It feels like 20 hours. And a lot of those that watch my channel are obsessed with Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. And I know this video is going to do well, but it's going to become like 10 videos just because it's like the script is like 20 pages long, and I have to do so much grinding to complete this DLC, like an insane amount of grinding. And this is why I'm obsessed with DLC, because who would have ever thought that that was the case, that Bethesda would drop for Fallout 4 like a 20-hour DLC.
I know.
And for me, double any kind of time that something takes, because I'm always under-leveled, because I'm not a natural grinder. So it's like, my character, I always think I'm doing so well. I'm like, I'm level 46. I'm going to be able to destroy. I beat the game, done so many hours. I'm like 120 hours in. I should be able to handle anything. And then I get into the DLC and I'm like, I feel like I'm a newborn baby who's never played this game. And you're telling me now that you want me to like climb Mount Olympus with underpowered weapons, or I'm always out of ammo, or like I forget where my power armor is. It's like, I have to go to my settlement, and then I'm pissing off factions, and I'm like, are they gonna even want to talk to me anymore? Because I've made so many terrible life decisions.
You're always playing on hard mode, aren't you?
Sadly, no. I wish that was the explanation. I wish that the explanation was that I was playing on hard mode. Sometimes I'll be like, I have one stim pack. I have like 10 rounds of ammo. I'm stuck in a cage with the boss. I'm going to bump this down to easy. And it's like sweet, sweet nectar. And I'm like, no, I feel so tempted to do the rest of the DLC with that easy mode. But fortunately, I've been able to handle most of it on medium. But I honestly, at this point, like however many hours in, I'm like, God, this last challenge is so insane. I might have to drop it down to easy to just
we've all
roll
been there.
Credits on this thing, because it's like,
no shame.
How long is too long? And when you guys see these videos, you will know what I'm talking about. I've checked the Reddit threads, and I am not alone. There are some war stories from this thing. Aren't. So. But yeah, then of course Dredge, if you are one of the very few people who have been keeping up with this podcast as we slowly roll it out, then you've heard me talk about Dredge. But luckily you're probably not. This is probably the first time you've ever seen this podcast, so I can tell you about Dredge again. And it'll be your first time. And then finally Hi-Fi Rush. I wanted to install that for the news so I could know what's going on. So yeah, those are my 4 games I want to talk about after we hit the news. Nice. What about you, Matt?
I've been continuing from last week, playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I actually finally, for the first time, beat the base game, and now working on the DLC for that. And
how long did it take you to beat the base game? Because that's inspiring.
Gosh, it took a while, because I was trying to do all of the missions, like all the side missions, and all of they have Coliseum battles in there, where you fight different waves of units. And so I was trying to do all of that as well. So it took me, oh gosh, I want to say somewhere around 30 hours, 30, 35 hours, something long. Yeah, it took a while. It's a good hefty game, and I hear the DLC, is several hours long too. I think it's like what between how fast you play it, like 6 to 8 or something. I think. Don't quote me on that. I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna have to get back to you guys. But the reason why I've been doing this is because Final Fantasy Rebirth is coming out on the 29th of February. So I think that's like what, a week from now ish. So it's probably already out by the time you watch this video, but February 29th, 2024, that's when that's dropping out. It's part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII. So I don't know how far this is going to go. I actually never played the original. And I know we were talking about how you've played some of it and you've actually gone farther. So you've actually seen a little bit what they're going to cover in this next part 2 game a little bit.
No, I'm not. I don't think I've made it.
Really?
I don't think I've made it to that part yet
okay.
in Rebirth. Dude, the main one is long.
Yeah.
I'm like 5 to 10 hours in, and I think I'm still, because the remake is so much shorter than the main game.
Yes, yeah.
That I'm like 10 hours in on the main original, and then I'm probably like 3 hours in on the remake, and they're similar pacing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
well, maybe you mean the opposite, because the original, right? Like the remake only covers just Midgard, and apparently you leave.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Midgard, right?
But I haven't gotten to that part.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't gotten to that part in the main game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But the main game, the original, takes like 10 hours, and like, yeah, I'm like moving around like different cities and like going up, down levels, but I haven't gotten outside in the original Final Fantasy.
That's
VII.
crazy. So I haven't played any of that. I don't know any of that. And I was thinking about like, I should play a little farther to see what happens and compare it like a lot of people are doing. But I actually think I want to do it the opposite. I kind of want to do the whole Lord of the Rings, watch the movies first before reading the books, because in a way this could really see if I like this franchise and like these characters in a new, fresh way. And if I really do, I'm not going to mind the differences or small changes going back. I'm just going to want more Final Fantasy VII, just like how I felt like with Tolkien and the books, right? So, or even like I go back and watch the old 70s Hobbit and animated Lord of the Rings. Remember those? Like, I like it.
The definitive Lord of the Rings, as I call it. I love the animated.
Yes. Dude.
I remember before, when we were anticipating the movies coming out, like I think I probably saw the trailer, and like all my friends, we just got super into it. We were so excited. I remember spending the night at my friend's house, and like me and his older brother, I don't know how old, when did the movie come out? Like, so we're probably like 6 to 10 years old.
Oh yeah.
All with our sleeping bags in the living room. Yeah. We were all in the living room. And we were watching the animated films on their TV, and I was like, this is sick.
Yes.
Like I loved how creepy in the animated films the ring wraiths look. They're like human, and it's red, and it's just such a cool vibe. And that's why I'm obsessed with the Banner Saga, because it pulls a lot of animation influences from that series.
Right.
So anything like that, I'm obsessed with, and I'm really excited for the Lord of the Rings animated film. I'm going to see that in theaters if I can.
War of the Rohirrim. Looks sick.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of films, I'm so bummed because Regal has Advent Children, the Final Fantasy movie, in theaters, and it's limited. But I haven't beat the game, so I'm like, it would be wasted on me. I need to. But I will consume all of that media once I beat the game. I'm going to watch all the movies and slowly build up all that information into my brain.
I need to do that too, because I tried watching that film back in like the LimeWire days, where you like try to torrent like things. and I like
spent
barely
an hour on
I got
Bloodborne.
like parts, part 8, like you like watch a segment and I had no idea what was happening, but I was thinking the whole time, this animation is sick. I can't wait to play a game like this one day. And here we are playing Final Fantasy games that look like Advent Children. We're living the dream. I'm so excited for Rebirth. But anyway, I've been playing 2 other games this week too. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is a rhythm game. I guess Guitar Hero-esque, but it's really not. You're not holding a guitar. You're just playing it on a controller, PlayStation. And it's Kingdom Hearts. I'm sure you guys heard of Kingdom Hearts. I hope you have by now. But anyways, you listen to the music and you just like do a classic like Guitar Hero-esque rhythm game where you're pressing buttons in order. I recommend you guys check it out if you like rhythm games. It is the most fun rhythm game I've ever played since Guitar Hero. I might be biased because I like Kingdom Hearts, but still, even if you don't like Kingdom Hearts, there's nice what do I want to say? Symphonic soundtracks, like game music, and it's beautifully made. And I know his name, but I can't remember it right now. The composer of all this music, gosh, I can't think of it. But anyways, they have all the best songs. When you walk away, I don't know, you guys, I don't need to get into it. But the last game I've been playing is Hogwarts Legacy. A year, kind of like a year gone by. Gotta get back into it and see what that game's all about. My wife beat that one a year ago, and for some reason, after she beat it, I felt like I didn't have to beat it because whatever she does, I get the credit for as well. So, but now she's like, no, you have to play it. So she's been sitting me down and trying to let me play her favorite game ever of all time now. Hogwarts Legacy, and I've been having a good time. Been trying to do like a little bit of a Death Eater run. Yeah, join Slytherin. It's been pretty cool. My name is Sinethir Dread Knight. That's my name in there.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a good name. That's very Slytherin. Did you come up with that, or is that like a preset?
No, I made that.
That's a dope name. Sinethir, what is it? Sinethir what?
Dread Knight.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. That's a good one. You're going to have to use that for other stuff.
Yeah.
So those are the games we're playing. We'll touch on them again at the end. But moving on to our main story, Xbox announces their shift to bringing 4 previously exclusive Xbox Studio titles to new platforms for new players. So Matt, you would be one of those new players because you don't have an Xbox, you don't have Game Pass, you play on Steam. Do you ever log into an Xbox login for any of the Steam games that you play, like Age of Empires or anything like that?
Gosh, I honestly, only for Halo. I think
so
that's the
Halo
only one.
Would be the first interaction.
Yeah, I still play that Master Chief Collection occasionally, but yeah, this would be the first time I get to play other games like Hi-Fi Rush, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Hi-Fi Rush, you'll be able to play on your PlayStation 5. So the story says that in tandem with several announcements today, Matt Booty penned an Xbox Wire post detailing the news of Microsoft's third-party plans to bring in the new players to their ecosystem. So the Xbox Wire post is titled New Platforms, New Players, 4 fan-favorite Xbox games coming to Nintendo Switch and Sony platforms, end quote. And Matt Booty writes, at Xbox, we strive to create games that inspire, entertain, and connect players from around the world. As a publisher and platform, we are committed to meeting players where they are by bringing more games to more people and more devices. And at the heart of all we do are players and the vibrant communities that they build around the games they love. So he continues that today they're announcing that 4 fan favorite games will be coming to Switch and Sony. In the spring, the studios that built these celebrated games have drawn on their multi-platforms experience to open the worlds they created. So the games are Pentiment from Obsidian, Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks, And let's see, Grounded from also Obsidian, two Obsidian games. I'm a huge Obsidian fan. They are fellow Southern Californians from Irvine. Sea of Thieves by Rare. And so Sea of Thieves will be on PlayStation 5 in April 30th. And Grounded will be on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch on April 16th. Hi-Fi Rush will be on PlayStation on March 19th. And Pentiment will be on Nintendo Switch on February 22nd and PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. So he explains that the strategy is similar to their other titles like, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo, because they now own Blizzard and Activision, also Southern Californians, that they already are a third party publisher, but the difference is they're kind of taking previously exclusive stuff, unlocking it. But yeah, I don't know if this is as big of a difference of like, when they went day and date with PC for a lot of stuff. Because if you have Steam, you kind of have most Xbox games already. But yeah, so Booty mentions on the official Xbox podcast interview with Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, and Sarah Bond that some of the key takeaways in this Wire post he summarized as, quote, last week on the official Xbox podcast, we also discussed how our Xbox consoles will continue to provide a flagship experience for players. This is what it seems to be a part of Xbox, or this is what it means to be a part of Xbox. The biggest games in the world will be on Xbox. Our first party games will come to Game Pass day one. A robust and innovative multi-year hardware roadmap. Compatibility with your library is a priority, inclusive of cross-play, cross-save, and robust cloud features. And Xbox will continue to help game creators find the biggest audience. So that part, to me, they're putting there because they want to reassure Xbox owners, like, this is what you are. If your games aren't really exclusive, we need to kind of reframe what it means to be an Xbox owner. And their developer direct was earlier this year, which I also watched, and that was showcasing Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, Avowed, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle. And so, yeah, the discussion questions that I wrote here are, will you play these titles on platforms outside of Xbox and PC? Like, are you going to purchase any of these games on PlayStation 5 or on Steam or on your Nintendo Switch?
Well, I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends I guess for me, it depends on, do I really want to play this on my PC still versus play it on PlayStation? And I think when it comes to like Diablo-esque sort of games, Age of Empires, I like playing that on a PC so much more than on a console. And I also think of the game that came out last year that everyone loves, Baldur's Gate. Like I like playing that on PC. My brother says it plays super well on console, and I don't doubt that. And I've seen him enjoy it, and I don't blame anyone who does enjoy it on console. But for me, that kind of game just flows better in my mind, and me personally, on a PC. So if it's that sort of game coming cross-platform, coming over to another console, then I probably still won't get it. But if it's a game more like Hi-Fi Rush, right, then I could see myself getting that sort of game. Or I could even see I'm not always a first-person shooter guy who only likes that with mouse and keyboard. I like playing first-person shooters with a controller because I grew up playing Halo, Xbox. And so I guess be weird, but like I could see myself playing Halo with a PlayStation controller. I feel weird saying that, playing with a PlayStation controller, because like even to this day, I play Halo now with a mouse and keyboard. Like I've done that, but I miss playing it with an Xbox controller. I guess I could go pick one up and use that, but I haven't done that yet, and I've gotten used to the mouse and keyboard. But I think maybe switching back over to console with a game like that would be pretty darn fun. So I'm excited to see I'm excited to see what I'm going to do when that comes around to me having that opportunity to pick out those Xbox titles. And I'm interested to see what the community does too, what what sticks and what doesn't. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I have the Series X. I don't regret it, but I could totally understand how someone could feel that way if they're like, well, 4 of these previous exclusives are on PlayStation, plus PlayStation has their exclusives. I get that mentality totally. So for me, I still have my Series X. I think for me, the benefit is Game Pass. Like I've really been leaning on Game Pass over the last couple of years as I'm new to the Xbox ecosystem since the original Xbox, and I'm kind of newer to PC after being away from PC from like probably high school till now. So Game Pass kind of helps me try out a lot of things and like test the waters, which I really enjoy, that there's a curated list of stuff to check out. And I do, going from the PlayStation 4 to the Series X, it felt like a huge improvement. And I'm always about like what games are going to be playable on the most types of hardware. And so for me, Steam Deck and Xbox platforms play really nicely in that way, where it's like, there's rumors that Xbox is developing a handheld, and like that's something I'd be interested in, because if it's the type of handheld that could run Steam also, then that would be very interested in that. And if it runs Game Pass really well and really natively, then that's something that's really intriguing to me. What's nice about the Switch, though, is it's a handheld that plays physicals. That's why I think the Switch is so cool. I always ask myself, like, why is the Switch so interesting? And it's a handheld that you could go to Best Buy or Target, and buy a physical game and then take it home and put it in your thing, whereas like with Steam and future handhelds by Xbox, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. And that's a really cool concept that only Nintendo has.
Dude,
but
things inside of things is the best. Yeah, things inside
very
of things.
Very underrated. But yeah, like if they go after that Steam marketplace, kind of like where you buy your games digitally, but they also kind of do the Switch thing where you can port it, and that becomes the replacement for the Series S, and then they still have a premium console. I think Xbox fans would love to have more hardware, just because it's so different than a PlayStation, and it sucks that it's in a place where Xbox players have to feel like, is it worth it? And so I totally understand that question, but for me it's more about like the hardware and playing where do I like to play third parties, and where's the most crossover. Like if I could just grab my controller and bring my work laptop with me when I'm traveling and know that I have all my games with me, then that's kind of my preferred way to play. Is like, oh, today I have the Steam Deck and I'm going to play my Xbox games, or today I have the Xbox handheld, or today I have my laptop or my PC at home. Like right. I like that ability to play games anywhere. That right. Xbox is so focused on developing that kind of ecosystem. So yeah, I think for me there's still a reason to be a part of the ecosystem. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't damage the viability of the market.
Totally.
So yeah, do you see yourself as a PlayStation owner, as a Nintendo owner, as a PC owner? Would you ever find the need to own or want to own a Series S, or to get a Game Pass subscription, or to get a Series X, or to get a future Microsoft handheld?
I'll tell you what, Spencer. So part of JumbyJumbwa and my channel is nostalgia. Really, really enjoying collecting, finding things that make you happy, make you feel like a kid again. And now that with the change going on, I really think that Xbox can start having more collector value, and the nostalgia hype is going to be greater, because people are going to be nostalgic about the glory days and the Halo and the Gears of War, and playing it on authentic consoles, because people still love playing Pokemon on PC, emulating it. People still love playing old titles on different consoles, but there's something that's special for a true fan, and I'm going to say a true fan of a whatever title it is. There's something about playing it on its God-given console, you know? It hits a sweet spot. You just can't explain unless you've already lived through it as a kid and you come back to it. And so I think if eventually I could see myself wanting to collect an Xbox, I don't know which one, because that would totally depend on the game for me. I am leaning towards like, I know they suck with the Ring of Death, but the Xbox 360, it would just be sick to have like a good one, because that's when I played a ton of Xbox, is with that. I could see myself getting a newer one because of just the what is that?
Backwards compatibility.
Thank you for that word. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Backwards compatibility. And I could maybe still relive some of that feeling. But again, like I like the old tech. I like playing on here, right? So then again, I go back and forth in my head. Do I want a 360 or an actual Series S or X or whatever? But yeah.
What sold me was like being a PlayStation owner and being what did I have at the time? The PlayStation and Switch. I was like so jealous of my friends. I was like, wait, you guys could, like, Morrowind is on sale for $4.99 on console. Like, you could play that with an Xbox controller like right now on your couch, and you're not doing that. Or like Oblivion or Time Splitters 2, or like there was so many cool backwards compatibility titles, Fallout 3. So it just like opened up this whole world for me that just wasn't the same on PlayStation. Like PlayStation now had Fallout New Vegas, but it just ran terribly, or Oblivion. And then going to the Xbox native platform and downloading the game for like $4.99 or having it in Game Pass, I was like, oh my God, this looks beautiful.
Right.
And I could be capturing my footage on my computer from the Xbox, and I don't have to worry about modding to get it to run, you know, at a nice frame rate or whatever. You know, like, granted, you have to kind of be used to like 30 frames, which I know a lot of PC players would never want to do. But like, if you just want to play Fallout 3 with a smooth experience, like, right, it runs so well on the system, on the console, backwards compatible. And I think it upscales to 4K. And my dream is that they dive even deeper into this with whatever next hardware they come up with, that they include the NVIDIA kind of AI upscaling and, you know, all that kind of like potential of like NVIDIA's Remix or whatever, where you could almost a marriage between the hardware's ability to upscale and the software's like backwards compatibility licenses, where it's like, because they own Bethesda, you know, you can get the Bethesda games kind of like not really quite a mod, but like the console itself is doing something via the hardware and the software integration to like almost make it feel like it's a modded Skyrim right out the gate, just because by, you know, flipping on a few buttons, like that would be a really cool way to separate themselves from the other consoles, because it's like they own so much IP now that if they could continue to deliver that nostalgia, but in a way that is native and runs really well at like a high resolution without you having to like have a bunch of Nexus mods open and stuff, I think that could be really cool. And then, you know, by doing that, for those of us who like to play vanilla and like try to get the trophies or the achievements or whatever, like being like, oh, cool, I'm not breaking the achievements, or it's still like the complete game. I'm not like having to go in a separate route, you know. Creating that kind of base experience is like an elevated experience, I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
For the system. Dope. All right. One sec. Let me just fix my light. All right. Okay. So now moving on to our next story, the Nintendo Direct. So Nintendo kind of shocked the world when they seemingly, you know, I think we're just relying on rumors at this point, but seemingly they delayed the Nintendo Switch 2 to next year. And so this Direct was kind of telling us what the next kind of quarter or two looks like on the Switch. So we're thinking now Q1 2025 for the Nintendo Switch 2. And so these games are to hold us over for the year, because the rumor is that the Nintendo Switch 2's software is not ready to be as big of a splash on launch as they wanted. So they're waiting for the big hits to be ready. Hopefully that means they're like stockpiling consoles as well. So with that in mind, what we have to look forward to in the short term is, we've mentioned Grounded. There is a game, an indie game called Ender's Lily, I believe. Did you ever play that game?
No, I've never played
it. It just got
Ender's...
announced as a sequel, Ender.
No.
So they have a sequel called, it's an action platformer from Binary Haze, but Ender Magnolia is coming. That's a sequel. And then let's see, Arranger looked pretty cool. This is an indie role-playing puzzling adventure. So that one looked cool. Now, the one that we'll talk about later is Unicorn Overlord. So remember that, because that's going to be important. Monster Hunter Stories, the original. I had this game on iOS just because like it was not really available anywhere, I think, besides maybe like the 3DS and Steam. But they ported it over. So that might be a game that I'll check out later. Did you play any of the Monster Hunter titles?
I've played Monster Hunter World, and that was pretty fun. And my brothers are still playing. They want me to get back into it, so I might do some of that this year. But yeah, I thought it was it's a cool thing, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dragon's Dogma, where you get together with either another computer player or your friends, and you take down big beasts. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dope. So I want to try Monster Hunter Rise. That one's on my goal list to just fire up and play it, just so I could get a taste for that franchise. And then, did you ever play the Disney Epic Mickey? It was like an action platformer where you have a paintbrush.
I never got to play that, but I was always interested in trying it out. I just kind of got my Disney fix with games through Kingdom Hearts. So I kind of just saw it as, I don't know, unnecessary for me as a gamer, because I already got what I wanted with Kingdom Hearts. But it could be fun. I'm still interested in trying it out one day. So they're redoing this one, repainting it, or new paint of skin on there.
Yeah. So Mo heard it in the background, and they were like, grab Mickey and go grab a brush and some paint thinner. And she was like, did they just say the words paint thinner? And I was like, yeah, they did. It made me interested. I was like, I mean, sure, I'll grab some paint thinner with Mickey. I mean, why not? That sounds like a fun, weird way to interact with the world. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. It sounds like this is kind of like what they did with Persona 5 Royal, kind of like a repackaged with extra content. So the Shin Megami Tensei series is we've mentioned this before, but my entrance to it has been on the 3DS, and I like it. I will say I'm kind of like Matt, where if you're going to give me like high schoolers in a modern society or warrior children with swords and spells, I do gravitate towards the fantasy setting of that like medieval vibe, but I really want to like Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. So I do everything I can to get into those series, because so many people that like the same stuff that I do like those games, and there's something really interesting about it. So I want to keep trying to understand these series of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei.
You and I were watching last summer Endless Summer on Hulu, and that kind of has that modern vibe where there's Shinigami, dark matter, but it's like modern people and high schoolers or whatever. And
that's the game that's the anime that I was saying reminded me of Persona 3, but I couldn't remember the name.
Summer.
Is that what it is? What was this called? Endless Summer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was good.
Sick.
I like that.
I didn't finish it though. It was a little long. It like kind of slowed down pacing wise.
It had a weird pacing at the end. It didn't wrap up as awesome as it started. I would say that.
Yeah, it started really strong.
Super good.
But yeah, that totally, you're right. Now this one's cool. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Did you play these games when they first came out?
I always wanted to play the first one. My buddy had an Xbox as a kid, and he always played the first one, and I would come over and play, and it was so fun. But I had a PlayStation 2, and I finally was able to get one of the titles, which was Battlefront 2, came to PlayStation 2. So I loved and played the crap out of Battlefront 2. Did everything you could in that game. It was one of my all-time favorites. It was like the best co-op game with your brother as well. And so we would just play hours and hours of Battlefront 2. So if that's is that what is part of the classic collection, Battlefront and Battlefront 2?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I loved those games too.
Oh my gosh, dude. I might have to get that.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, so those were great games, and yeah, I'll probably wait for a sale, but I would like to play these on Xbox if they are, because that's where I originally played these games.
They're the best on Xbox. Oh, it's the way to play it.
South Park Snow Day, not too interested in that. I still need to play the South Park RPGs. And then Sword Art Online. Do you have any experience with that franchise?
I like the anime, and I don't say love because there's some of it that is just okay. But I do like the anime, and I've seen every season, I think. I have not played any of the games, so I don't see how that transfers, how it would transfer over for me, my interest yet, but. For me, Sword Art Online, like the anime is all about VR, right? And so that's what gets you hyped about the show. And that the fact that it's not a VR game to me, it's just an RPG. Sure, I guess it's cool for like an isekai like style story, but I might as well just watch the anime. I don't know. Like
what's an isekai type story mean?
I only. Oh, sorry. What are we saying?
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
An isekai is like where a character from our world goes to another world to save it, basically.
Oh.
And so the main character of Sword Art Online. He's from our world, but then he goes to the VR world, gets trapped in the VR world, and has to save the VR world, right? So it's sort of isekai-ish, but it's more so like, say like I died, but then like God brought me back in an anime world to find my waifu, because like that was his purpose for me.
That's an awe-inspiring purpose. I'm excited to we need to make that some Jumby lore. Okay, so then we have Super Monkey Ball. We have World of Goo, Fantasy Life, another Crab's Treasure. These are a lot of indie titles. Penny's Big Breakaway. Suika Game. Have you played Suika Game? Have you heard of this?
No. What is this?
It's a really popular casual kind of is it a puzzle? I think it's a puzzler. I think it's a multiplayer mode has been added. I want to say it's for fans of like stuff like Tetris, like really addicting or like is it match 3 games, stuff like that. Which I do love. But for me, a lot of that comes with the skin. Like you got to hook me in with the skin of it. Like I have to want to be in that world that the puzzle is inspiring me to beat. But there's one cool one that I want to point out called Pepper Grinder, and there's a demo that I'm going to try out either later today or later this week. An action-packed drill bit dig venture from independent developer. Let me see here. Got to see the rest of the copy. Let's see. From independent developer All Ek and Devolver Digital. I'm a huge Devolver Digital fan. So Devolver Digital publishes a lot of great indie games like Enter the Gungeon, Cult of the Lamb. So yeah, I love pixel art like this.
Whoa!
Lots of particle effects,
pulled it
great
up
animation.
and it looks amazing. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. So I want to try out that demo. That's what the Switch is like perfect for, in my opinion, is those type of games.
Yes. Yeah. Like Hollow
this one was
Knight
cool.
and stuff.
Yeah. Totally. This next one is really cool. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. Okay, so this is developed by the Nintendo developer or the Pokemon developers, Game Freak. And this is a 3DS game. And it's kind of a cult classic. So if you want to see what Game Freak is capable of outside of Pokemon, and you kind of want to see their other strange kind of IP, check out Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. After that, we have a game called Snufkin, a musical adventure game about restoring harmony. And then we have, this is Tales of Kenzara Zhao. This is a kind of like the new Prince of Persia 2.5D Metroidvania action platformer. It's in a similar vibe to that.
It's not a Tales of game.
An interesting part about...
It's not a Tales of game.
No. Yeah, it's kind of deceiving in the title. Yeah, because you would kind of think
I almost freaked out.
Did you play Tales of Arise? That just came to Game Pass, and I've been meaning to play that one.
Yes, I played Tales of Arise. It's good. It's like, I mean, it's a Tales of game, so you know what you're gonna get, and it's a decent RPG. I think I think every single Tales of game is like decent. So, I recommend you should check it out, Spencer. If it's on Game Pass now.
Yeah, and I bought it physically on sale, but it's been in the backlog for forever. So it's like, it's on Game Pass. I'll just download it and try it. Next up we have Demon Slayer. I think this is a rhythm game. It's called Sweep the Board.
Rhythm game?
So if you're a Demon Slayer, I think so. Don't quote me on that. Let me see what they describe.
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's published by Sega. So they say, play Demon Slayer, sweep the board with everyone. The animated Demon Slayer turns into a board game. Oh, it's a board game.
It's like Mario Party.
The iconic landmarks from the anime. Oh, wow. Boards, roll the dice to advance through the squares. The board has a daytime and nighttime period. During the day, you will play events and mini games to prepare for the night, where you will be searching for demons to defeat. Aim to become a great Demon Slayer swordsman.
Dude, that looks like it could be fun. It's literally, I'm pulled it up right now. It literally looks like Mario Party, but with the anime skin on there.
That's cool. That's a cool concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, Demon Slayer fans, check that out. Kingdom Come Deliverance is getting a Royal Edition. Have you played this game? This is it's supposed to be like a simulation style medieval RPG. Did you ever get into this on PC or like PlayStation or anything like that?
Yes, I actually have it on PC, and I haven't played too much of it, and I don't want to spoil anything because like people really like this game, and they like the story. What people don't like about it is some of the game mechanics, like swordplay and things like that. It's very tough. It's a hyper realistic simulator type PC game. I really do recommend it on PC, which is interesting that they're bringing it over to the Switch. I wonder how that plays. But it's really good, and I like it, and definitely get it on PC.
Yeah, I tried it on PS4. It was on sale one time for like $10, and I tried it and I was like, ooh, this is rough. Like this does not feel like this is the
mouse
platform
and keyboard
for it,
makes it a little easier though, to be honest, and that's why I think that's the way to play it, you know. So
yeah. Did you grow up playing Contra at all?
The on like any NES. Okay, yes, I played that one, the OG.
So they're bringing back Contra. I don't know if this is going to be too well received. Graphically, it looks a little funky to me. I think it's a 2.5D reimagining. So I would be curious to see what Contra fans feel about how they are redesigning the graphic style.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Because to me, it doesn't look quite classic enough.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Like there's kind of 3Ding the graphics a bit, but it's like still side scroller. Yeah, it's losing a little bit of its charm, but it looks like it's maintaining the style and energetic, fun, arcadey gameplay. So it's like, is the gameplay gonna keep you interested enough? These types of games go really well with style, with artistic direction. It's like almost
like
half
Metal
of the game.
Slug.
Yes, exactly. It's like half of the game.
I love the way that Metal Slug looks.
Like people play these games just for how they look and how it makes them feel. It's like a cozy type thing, but on a more thriller action side of things. So you're absolutely correct with being like, I don't know how this is going to be received. If it's going to be just like, this is kind of feels like a mobile game versus actually feeling like a fun arcadey game on your Switch. Interesting.
Totally. Pentiment by Josh Sawyer, director of Fallout New Vegas. This is a smaller indie style game by a AA and AAA studio, Obsidian Entertainment. So if you miss this game on Game Pass, which I still haven't gotten to yet, I've been meaning to play this. It's kind of like Disco Elysium. It's like a murder mystery, kind of dialogue heavy RPG. I don't even know if it's considered an RPG, but it's a really cool art style, very medieval, very historical based. It's a great game for Switch, is what I keep hearing. I'm weird where there's certain indie games, like if it's a 40-hour indie game or 25-hour, I kind of like playing that on the couch on a big screen. And if I'm going to cover it, I like to play it where I could capture. So I would only get this on Switch if I've probably already played it on Xbox. But if I didn't have an Xbox, I would probably totally be interested in this on Switch, because everyone keeps saying that it's perfect for handheld. So if you like a kind of like a cozy murder mystery, dialogue heavy kind of choice and consequence game, then definitely check out Pentiment.
I mean, I do kind of get like, this is like the artistic medieval art style version of Kingdom Come Deliverance in a way. Like, that's really interesting and cool. I've always wanted to play this one, and I might check it out now. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, and then Nintendo Switch has some new Rare online games from the development studio, and the specific titles are, let's see here. Oh, they don't list them. That's interesting. But I know that Killer Instinct was in there, and then what was the other one? Battletoads.
Blast Corps.
Blast Corps, yeah. So Snake, Rattle, and Roll. If any of these are games that you want to play, they're going to be in the online service. And then they close out with Endless Ocean, which I believe is a sequel to a Wii era game. It was a really beloved title is what I've gathered, but I missed a lot of the Wii era games. As we were mentioning before, I was a Wii U era gamer. So Endless Ocean Luminous is a sequel. It's like a casual kind of explorative game. I think I heard that you could explore underwater with like 30 other people.
Oh, it's kind of like am I thinking of the right game? Subnautica?
Yeah, okay. I think it's kind of along those lines. But those are the games. That's the Nintendo Direct. Overall, I would say there's one game in here that I want to talk more about.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's pretty good for the end of the cycle, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton more. I'm sure there's going to be a ton more stuff coming through the next year or two that is going to be just kind of a part of developers' release cycles.
Right.
Like, here's our Switch port, you know?
Yeah,
so I don't think this is it. I just think...
I think Spencer, we might hear more about the Nintendo Switch 2 this year. And because I'm not really seeing any big titles. I'm going to be honest. I'm not seeing huge titles. And that feels, as a Nintendo owner, it feels underwhelming, and it makes you kind of anxious, and it's already putting that seed in your pocket of like, you need a new Switch. Like, you need the next one because this is done. Mm-hmm. This is done. So they're really going to make you feel that way. If I get no news for the Switch 2, dude, I'm going to be starving by a year from now going, bro, where's my new game? Where's my new Switch? So I don't know what their plan to how they're going to roll that out this year. But when I see this, I'm already thinking like, my focus is a lot more on Xbox and PlayStation right now for new games. I'm just being real. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. With the exception of Unicorn Overlord. So this game is by Sega and it's by Vanillaware. Have you ever played a Vanillaware title?
Gosh. I would have to, I'm not the best with these studios and keeping them organized by what games they make. I don't know. I'm not sure if I know Vanillaware. So what other games did they make? Do you know?
So 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and Dragon's Crown, and Odin Sphere, and another one's called Muramasa.
Okay, I think I've
played a little bit of Dragon's Crown. And I think I might own 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. They just have a really distinct art style.
I've seen that game, the 13 Sentinels. That's the one. It looks more like it takes place in like modern future times with like giant mechs, right? Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've always loved their art style, and I feel like they finally managed to land the type of gameplay that I'm looking for with this art style, because this game's awesome. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it.
Sorry.
No worries. They noted at the beginning that the sound production was by a team called Bozyscape, and the music is incredible. I don't know if Bozyscape is the composer or not, but the music is really, really stand out. So that's reason enough to play this. But the story is really interesting and compelling. And, for me, it's not so much about how unique is a story. It's how quickly can you hook me into the characters. And I don't mind if I can guess what's going to happen next, if the journey of discovering the story is really fun through the gameplay and all of that. So for me, that's kind of what this is. It reminds me of a lot of great tactical RPG, strategy RPG, JRPG stories, but the way that they present it is so like AAA. It just feels like there's so much love and care into the menus and the character designs and the animations. But it's not just that. It's like the gameplay is really fun. There's the first battle you're in, you press the right buttons and the battle happens, and you're like, wait, they just battled without me. Like, I didn't control that. I didn't tell them what moves to play. And you're thinking like, is this going to be hard to get used to? And then before you know it, you're like starting to understand. It's like, it's tactical and it's real time and it's like an auto battler all at once, where the tactics are like, they'll show you these mini chessboards and it's like, oh, by the way, this guy has a spear, and if your guys are lined up behind each other, when you send them to battle, they're going to get like speared by the same guy. So it's like, you have to survey the map of the stage and be like, okay, if I send these guys in, have they been my units that I've been using too long? Are they going to be fatigued?
Yeah.
Or where do I want these guys on the map? And so you're using the map, and there's also this like real time movement where when you unpause the movement, your horses units are going to get to the enemy before your infantrymen. So like, you'll watch as you resume, your horses go. So you have to like have relay points and think about if you want these guys to be able to back up these guys or swap out with these guys, you need to time their movements. And then you'll see, oh, there's a castle over here and ruins over here. And it also kind of has like a advanced wars kind of thing or war groove where like you garrison your units inside of buildings and they can heal. And so the way that the passing of time works is really interesting. And also there's like a time meter. So the whole battle needs to happen in a certain amount of time. So you don't want to waste your time moving units around the map inefficiently.
Right.
So when you do engage in battle, it's sick because the animations are so clean. So imagine like Fire Emblem, but with the cleanest animations. And if they like took it up a notch to where you feel like not only are they doing like one sword strike, but like they're interacting with each other. And I know Fire Emblem does do this, but it's different because it'll be for a little, like 1 or 2 extra move sets that makes it feel a little bit more like you're proud of your units. Like, dude, it's like sword strike. And then someone's like heal. And then someone's like dodge. And then you're like, yes. You're like, that was sick. Like, I'm so glad that I leveled you guys up, you know?
These kind of games like hypes you up in the sense of like what I imagine like Alexander the Great or like a conqueror like felt as they were like controlling all their troops, but in a really cool way that makes them really likable because it's like anime, you know, and outrageous.
And the characters are so likable. It reminds me a lot of Fire Emblem Fates, and it reminds me of what's the game Chained Echoes that I've been playing, where like you have a little character on an overworld map and you're picking up stuff that you're going to use and craft. And so I just got to, you know, I have a feeling the whole demo is just like a tutorial because it's such a deep game with so many systems. But when you are in, like, finally get to your village, they're like, all right, you need to do deliveries for the merchants, and when you do that, you'll unlock the port, and then you'll like inside of the fort you can train, and you can spend your renown points on this, and then you have all your chess boards, and it's like if you have 3 chess boards, that means you could put 2 units on each board, and that they'll be translated as units on the battlefield. So say you have like 12 characters and you have 3 boards that each can have 2 guys on it. That's 6 soldiers that will fight for you. And so you could either buy another board, so you'll get another unit like represented on the map, or you could put more units per board, meaning like if you're going up against 3 guys and you have 4 guys on that board, you could strategically place them so they'll just whoop whoever they go against. Or you could keep them in units of 2 and like have these guys claiming this part of the map. These guys are like gonna come around the side, and then this guy's going straight for the enemy. So there's a lot of strategy in how you pair up your units, which is very Fire Emblem inspired. But just imagine that not only are you choosing the pairings, but you're choosing the spacings on the chessboard that influence
the formations. It seems like they kind of add some more layers to Fire Emblem, where it's like there's not only strategy with the units and how they rank up, compare it, and match up against enemy units, but it's also goes beyond that with movement and unit movement, specifically how you were saying the what is it, the horses move faster than the infantry. That sounds cool. And then also what you said, setting up your squad, your garrison, like your squad to be in the correct formation that's going to best annihilate the enemy team. It sounds like my kind of game, the more you talk about it.
So I'm hoping, I think Target has a Switch physical. To me, this is a Switch game because it has the cute kind of anime style graphics, and to be able to play this like while you're in a waiting room, or it'd just be so similar to playing Fire Emblem on my 3DS. So it's like, this feels like the natural progression of Fire Emblem, and like it's not Fire Emblem. I'm just thinking like, man, I hope that the Fire Emblem team team, I think Intelligent Systems is their name. I hope that they were playing this game and getting ideas for how to do a really stylized, cool story with really cool graphics. I feel like they played a lot of Fire Emblem and they like took all these elements from the different games and remixed it into a more modern, kind of more in-depth, balanced experience. And I'm only about 2.5 hours in though, so we'll see how it plays out. But I think if you like triangle strategy and you like Fire Emblem Three Houses and Chained Echoes and Sea of Stars, I think you'll really like this type of charming art style and really fun gameplay.
I can't get enough of it, dude. I just can't get enough of that.
Well, besides that, like I had mentioned, I've been obsessed with Dredge. I finally made a lot of progress. You know, when you're crafting or looking for items on a map and you're just stuck, so you just keep grinding the same things. I was kind of in that phase where I'm like, I'm just going to keep fishing in these ports because I don't know where these fish I'm supposed to find are. And I realized the problem was there was a symbol that says the fish you're looking for, you need to use a crab net for, or you need to have like a trough net. And I was like, oh, there's different styles of nets for different styles of fish. And once I did that, I was like, oh, there's the missing fish I was looking for. And now I have the crafting piece to unlock the new power. And now the game's kind of moving again. So been loving that game. I'm 20 hours into Dredge. So super fun, deep, indie kind of, if you like Pentiment and you like kind of like these unique games that are really lovingly made with the atmosphere in mind, maybe not the most like involved gameplay, but it does really well. I think you would like Dredge a lot. And then like I said at the top, Nuka World, I'm really trying to wrap my head around how I feel about it, because in some respects it's a great DLC because it adds so much content. And if you just love living in Fallout 4 and you just want more Fallout 4, then you're going to love Nuka World. But if you're like me, where you primarily want to see great characters, great role playing, great choice and consequence, you want to fall in love with the factions that you're aligning yourself with, you're going to be frustrated with Nuka World because it is a super frustrating DLC. So I'm trying to wrap that up so I could get my videos rolling out on that. And then Hi-Fi Rush, I think, Matt, you'll like this a lot. Like, it's a really hi-fi feeling game. It feels expensive and premium, but really charming.
I like how
I think it would be really cool on the PlayStation 5.
Music, dude. I like how it's synced with the music.
Yeah.
Like, that is super cool.
To me, it feels like what I was hoping Ratchet and Clank would feel like. It has like this really fun action vibe, but it just feels so intuitive. Now, the rhythm mechanics are confusing. I think a lot of people will be frustrated with them, but my thing is just do to the beat, like if you're like, what is it? Quarter notes. There's like boom, boom, boom,
right,
boom. It's not, sometimes I overthink it. I'm thinking like they want me to do triplets and they want me to do like eighth notes and 16th notes. When like I just learned like just do X, X, X square, X, 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 Y or whatever. And it's like your character will be flying and looking like you're a genius. So I would say my tip is like don't overthink the rhythm, at least for the first couple of hours. I don't know if it's going to get more insane, but I've heard it's a challenging game. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think my nephews who love rock music and drums and guitar, and they're like at the age where they're getting into video games, so like kindergarten and first grade, I think they're gonna love this game because it has music, it has rock, it looks like a cartoon. Yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, did you want to say anything more about the games you've been playing? Like, is there any other? You mentioned Final Fantasy VII. You finished that. Yes. Hogwarts Legacy.
Well,
anything that
I will say again with Final Fantasy Remake. We were talking about like commercials, spoilers, previews, demos, and I've also been kind of avoiding all that stuff with Final Fantasy Rebirth because I'm also that way where when I really like something, I just want to go see the movie or go play the game, right? I don't want to get spoiled or get an idea of what it's going to be. And what sucks about trailers now these days is they almost give you the whole movie in the trailer, and or they show you all the maps, so there's no discovery of like this is a cool location. For me, like I've been trying to avoid. I saw one accidentally, but I just like you kind of just went with it. But I'm really trying not to learn too much. Everyone's raving about the demo, that I should play the demo, but I'm still not even playing that. Like I already know that it's good and I'm gonna want to play it, so why am I doing that to myself? But yeah, I thought that was cool. That's how you felt the same
relatable.
Way. Yeah.
And I've heard that those trailers have a lot of spoilers, so I definitely would say don't watch them.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch them. In terms of Hogwarts Legacy, what was very hard for me, why I didn't get into it last year, I made that joke about my wife being in play. That's not the real reason. The real reason why I didn't get into it and play it is I kind of felt like I started getting overwhelmed with all of the quests. All of a sudden, there was like a bunch of school quests where I had to learn new spells. And then it got me confused because I was thinking, what is this going to affect my other missions if I don't learn these spells? And then I would go do other missions and be like, I didn't need to learn that spell. And so I got kind of confused. When do I do certain side quests? How do I organize this myself? Is it possible to just do the whole game just doing main quests? I don't know. And I just kind of got overwhelmed, like an Assassin's Creed game. Like some of these open world games, they bug me sometimes because there's too much to do. And I just want to enjoy playing this game and not feel like so much I have like this endless task list that I have to do. So, but I finally...
I hate when...
Go on. Sorry.
Does it push you into like auto-generated quests? Like in Fallout 4, you'll constantly get pushed back to a character who's like, all right, now I want you to go take out this raider. He's been pissing me off. And you're like, he doesn't have a name. He's just like there's a raider somewhere. And then you show up and you're like fighting him. And then like Brotherhood of Steel comes in and you're like, oh, now I got to fight these dudes. And then like mutants show up and then you go and then they're like, good job. I guess you want your cash. And they're like, it's like $200. And you're like, okay, that can buy like one stim pack. Yeah. And it's like, you do it again and it's like, all right, there's this trader who owes me some money. Go get it. And you do it and you're like, when does this wrap up? And you're like, am I just inside an endless loop of quests that farm XP and coins, but isn't really meant to progress the story? Is it that kind of issue, or is it? No,
it's more like I'll give you an example. One of the quests I was doing was I needed to make like 3 different potions, and then use them, right? And then go back and tell this guy that I made the potions and used them. And like to make the potions, like I have to now go find certain ingredients. The game doesn't tell me where these ingredients are. And then on top of that, like I need a certain number of money to buy some ingredients, a certain number of coins. And the game's not necessarily telling me how to make money either. So I'm thinking, all right, I just got to go leave and like do some other stuff to go make some money. But what should I do? Do I progress does the story give me a lot of money, or should I just go find bases? And when I find bases and defeat like the goblins or whatever, am I going to have to run into like enemies that are above my level? And then Caitlin goes, no, I think you just can go around the whole map and pillage. But I was like, okay. But then that gave me this idea of like, then the game, where's like the hard guys that I'm going to look forward to fighting if I can just fight everything now? I don't know. It's just a lot of confusion. Maybe I need to watch some like videos on YouTube on how people play this game. But there's just a lot going on. But the good news is I feel like I got my broom, and I got some cool spells, and I'm at this point where I'm just like, yeah, I am trying to fly around and get the bases and make more money and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with that game. It's decent. I see why people like it, especially if you're a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm sure all the stuff that you do in the game is like awesome for someone who loves Harry Potter, because they're just getting Easter eggs everywhere and living out these fantasies they've always had. Like making a potion for them is like, whoa, I'm a wizard making a potion. And for me, it's like, this is like my 20th potion I've ever made in a video game. Like this is, have you played Witcher 3? Like you make potions all day long. Like, I don't know.
Is there a potion mini game is it a potion mini game? Like, is it satisfying?
No, it's like potions? Literally like go grab these 3 ingredients and press craft, and then it takes like a minute to auto craft, or 30 seconds. Like it's not satisfying at all to make potions. Yeah, for me,
that's a bummer, because I feel like I'm always drawn towards the idea of crafting and survival elements, but so few games have that balance right, where the experience of looting and exploring and gathering the materials, it either is that there's so few. Like recently in Nuka World, I finally figured out to repair my power armor, I need aluminum. And there are these times where I'm selling and buying stuff from traders, and I'm like, I have like $75. What should I spend that on? And I'm like, oh, she's got some trays that I could take the aluminum from and fix my power armor. So it's like, I'm preparing for this big battle, and I'm like, cool, I know where to get the stuff that I need. She has it. Now, what happens when she's out of it? Am I going to have to go roaming around the map trying to find more aluminum? And if there isn't enough aluminum, the player is pissed, because you're like, am I just waiting for drops for random ingredients to fix the thing so I could beat the level who knows what? So am I just going to beat up on a bunch of like lower level people to try and farm lunch trays that I could tear down into stuff? And I compare that to more recent crafting and survival like Cult of the Lamb and Dredge, where or even say Vampire Survivors, where discovering loot and drops is so rewarding. Like I could watch Frasier, and I could have Dredge and be like, oh, dude, look at this sick variant of this fish that's like neon and it's disgusting and it's like decayed whatever, and you're like, that is so sick. And then like, oh, now I finally figured out the way to get the right fish, and the drops are so plentiful. It's like you're not like randomly searching for stuff. And the mini games are really fun and rewarding because it's like all built around that mini game. And so I think what a lot of these more modern Ubisoft inspired, Bethesda inspired games are missing is the fun in the mini game. And another example would be Starfield. The lock picking is not a fun mini game. I literally have to hand it to Mo. She loves it. So if you have the brain for it, the mini game is fun, but if you're dumb like me, it's like, wait, this is way harder. I used to just have to like twist the sticks and like listen to the vibration. Now I have to like do math almost. It's like, so I think getting the right mini game for potion crafting, it's like, I love that concept.
I love that
but
concept
so
too.
often the implementation is frustrating. And then the enemy camps, if those are not clearly signaled, the level that they are and the level that you are, again, I find frustration because it goes back to, I'm level this, shouldn't I be able to walk into this camp and beat these people? And so it's fun to hear those kinds of challenges in other RPGs, because the more that the player can be aware, then I think the more fun you could have, because then you know what systems to exploit and which ones to avoid. So what would you say out of the systems in Hogwarts Legacy truly immerse you into the gameplay loop?
Easy. One of the reasons why I stopped playing the game too is not just for how big the world is and how much there is to do, like an Assassin's Creed game, I never got my broom. So I think it takes like 4 or 5 hours of playing to finally get a broom. That was a big no-no for a player like me. Like me, when I think of Harry Potter, I think of riding on a broom is like the most fun thing I want to do. And to take that long to get me the whole reason why I'm playing this game, it sucked. It absolutely sucked. So when I finally got the broom and I was able to travel around and actually go find these goblin camps and things like that, then I started having a faster gameplay loop. And it started being more fun. I started getting more gear. And I was like, oh, I like how my character looks now. You know, that kind of stuff. And so then I looked at Caitlin and go, I see why you guys like playing this game. It's fun to fly around. Let me say one more thing. The most fun thing that is awesome about Hogwarts Legacy is flying around that huge map, no loading screens, and then you can drop straight down into the middle of Hogwarts into a courtyard and just walk into the castle, no loading screen. And you're like, it's amazing that immerses you completely. And I started freaking out. Like, they need to do this with like every game where everything's just connected in such a beautiful, seamless way, and I can get around the map awesome, like on just flying around. It just works so perfectly. And I think like that's probably what made them, or was a huge drive to even make this game, is like, how fun is that? I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's the mount, right? So that's like I can think of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the horse, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag with your ship, which I love Black Flag, and I've been meaning to replay that. Another Wii U title that I played. Like, I had the Wii U at the time, and I don't know why I took so long to play these games on the PS4, but I was just like, the Wii U is sick. I'm going to get whatever's on it. And Black Flag was ported on it.
Sick.
And it was a sick game. And they made traveling fun. And so it's like, when you can make the mount of whatever game it is, Diablo,
Red Dead,
the other one I'm playing, Red Dead, or this Dragon's Dogma, like, do you need the mount? And then how long does it take? For instance, Fallout 4, I don't have the booster pack for my thing. And it's like, how difficult did you design it? Or was this a DLC thing?
Right. That
like, it was locked behind a DLC, and that's why. So how your character progresses as an RPG combat traversal, I think should be separated out from like a lot of the crafting and survival, because sometimes what I think happens is like the cool feature that everyone needs to have fun is scaled behind a system that's running parallel, but they're giving you the same perks. So like, if you're level 5 and your option is better wand attack or the ability to unlock your broom, I think you should try to remove the ability for the player to make the wrong choice. To be like, because that's what happened with a lot of people with Starfield, is they were like, better shotgun, better shotgun, better shotgun. And then they're like, wait, you have a booster pack and you have superpowers? Like, I just have a better shotgun. It's like,
right.
Well, we should have different upgrade currencies for those different things.
Yes.
And try to make the core gameplay loop a part of the more mainstream options.
Yes.
And then have like upgraded shotgun be crafting and survival perks, as opposed to like, what do you want? Do you want better potions and spells and faster travel? Or do you want to make, this thing that gives you a little bit, or it gives you an entirely new power, So it's like, they need to make it clear to the player that like, hey, what you really want, the core base, like, they need to streamline that. Otherwise, like, make it obvious that like someone could be leveling up their character really far on all the most random stuff and not having fun because they don't have the core concepts needed to engage with the game.
So true. And I think that is a problem with some of those games when they get too open, and then you get different players with different levels of game literacy. Like, I could see Caitlin falling into that, where it's like, oh, I really like my shotgun, I'm just going to keep leveling. I should level that up, right? More attack. And it makes sense, right? But then, like, for someone who's more experienced, they're going to really kind of check out everything that you can unlock, and they're gonna have that better imagination of thinking, oh, how is that going to affect my gameplay loop right now? Is that booster actually gonna like make it faster for me to kill enemies instead of
your entire ship? In Starfield's case, it's like people miss out on their entire ship because they see piloting or they see like stealth, and it's like, oh, I want to stealth. This is like a Bethesda game. I'm going to stealth and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay. But just know that like most of the main quests you can't do because you didn't do piloting. You know, like those kinds of crazy. Massive separations are crazy to me. So before we go, I have to mention Batman Beyond animated film pitch. I put the screenshots in our notes.
I have another movie to talk about too after that. So
yeah. So the team, I believe this is the team behind the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it is. Across this. Yeah. Whoa. They pitched this to Warner and they said no.
What?
I have a feeling someone.
What?
Yeah, like there's no way this gets leaked without somebody trying to like show execs like, guys, look at the reception behind this. We have to make this. This is so sick. So if we have any friends at Warner watching this, guys, you got to green light this. This is a no-brainer.
Dude, I'm actually more hyped if that comes out than what I was going to mention. I was just going to mention that Borderlands movie trailer that dropped earlier, and that looks like it's going to be like the next Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing. Looks like they're kind of.
So was your takeaway? I didn't watch it, but I looked at the casting and I looked at what the conversation was behind the casting in the trailer itself. Did you feel like the cast was chosen correctly?
I feel like the trailer was entertaining. To really tell if the cast was chosen correctly, I'm gonna have to see a little bit more of that banter in the movie, how they all work together, that chemistry. I'm gonna have to see more of that actor to actor chemistry. But the trailer looked fun, and it looked like, it didn't look like the greatest movie ever. It was no Django Unchained or epic Kill Bill movie or something, but it looked like it was fun to watch, like Guardians of the Galaxy. It had that old school pop music, and I'm all about that. I love that kind of music. And so when you mix that with comedy and action, and then video games, and then cool actors like Kate Blanchett, if you guys don't know who that is, shame on you. That's Lady Galadriel. You should know the Lady of Light, but she's in it. And then they have Kevin Hart and Jamie Lee Curtis. She's awesome. So they already got some cool people in there. I just have to see a little bit more of that chemistry. If it is going to actually be funny and entertaining like Guardians of the Galaxy, or this is just going to be kind of weird and goofy, and somewhat entertaining, more like Suicide Squad. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave your thoughts with it because I haven't watched the trailer, and I like everything you said. I'm kind of on board with. So check out the Borderlands trailer. I will see this movie for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, that's our episode for today. And I think there's a lot to play and a lot to talk about. So if you guys like video games and like Batman Beyond and like Fallout and Bethesda and RPGs and all of the things we discussed, there will be more next week. So we will be talking again next week. I'm sure more games will drop, more news will pop in, and I'll text Matt saying, oh, I think this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be Matt's first impressions of Final Fantasy.
That's on the 29th. Or maybe I don't think that will be.
So we'll just miss that. Maybe I'll try to play more Final Fantasy to catch up to Matt somehow.
What day is the 29th?
I don't know how I'll do that.
What day is the 29th? It is. Oh, it's the day after. It's so I'm gonna be really hyped that day. I'm gonna be like, I can't make it, Spencer. I'm too shaking. I'm shaking right now. It's Thursday next
Yeah.
week. So, all right. Well, then on the 6th of March, I can give you some inside scoop with that. I wonder if I'll beat it by then. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
All right, dude.
So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to JumbyJumbwa
Yes.
on YouTube. It's at JumbyJumbwa.
Yes.
And subscribe here to the Yeti Den, and we're on other social media platforms with the same names as well.
Yes.
And leave a comment below if you guys are gonna play Unicorn Overlord, and tell us what your most frustrating RPG mechanic is in modern open world design. And tell us if you've watched Batman Beyond, because that's a great series.
You better.
My favorite iteration of Batman.
So sick. So sick.
So we will see you guys next time. And thank you so much for watching. And talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.